And so I feel that really
I want to
bottlenecks
kick
it,
it to
right?
Biggs. I will say that too many entrepreneurs and business owners build their business based upon who's in front of them. So it's like, these are the people I have right now. So I'm going to build the business based upon who I have. But what you're saying is, let me reverse engineer this thing. Let me figure out what is the type of business I want to design. And then, like, what type of characteristics of an individual do I need to fill into these different roles? And then let me see who's in my depth chart that might fill in some of those characteristics. So it's really a beautiful model. So let me kick it to you, Big. So I'm sure you want to jam on this a little bit.
Yeah, and then attract, right, the rest of the the
Right.
rest of the org
And by
chart.
the way,
Yeah,
sometimes you do have those people that you're like, but I love them. And you can get creative and create a role that matches who they are that serves your business, you know?
right.
And maybe it's a new role you develop, right? But
Yeah,
that's possible as well.
yeah, absolutely. I think this is spot on with what our audience needs, right? Which is like how to actually design something, how to think with the end in mind, and then reverse engineer it. Part of that is people, which you really hit on. The other half, I think, from my vantage point, is like systems. I don't know what
Right.
your take on that is. So, what are some of, like, when you think about systems, like how do you define a system, and then how do you help people integrate systems into their business, or how have you integrated systems into your business? Like, jam on that a little bit. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So I think so. Once you have right the type of person and what's happening, then creating those like SOPs or whatever it might be for each role, it needs to be something that if God forbid something happened to your lead person or whatever, someone else could pick up, read it, and like execute, right? And so this takes time, and this takes time that a lot of entrepreneurs don't want to take. And I've even caught myself in different seasons going, oh, I'll just do this, or we'll get to it later, or let me just do it myself, right? Because it's like I can do it on autopilot. And if I sit, it's going to take me longer to think through it. But the sacrifice of taking the time to sit down, think through it, and write it out how you would want it, and what that does for like years or decades to come is a game changer. And it creates so much time and space for you long term. Short term, it might not feel great. It might feel like overwhelming, but it matters. And so just sitting down and I can't speak because every business is different, but just really sitting down and going, okay, what are the procedures? What are standard operating procedures? What are maybe you have scripts, right, for certain things? Maybe this is how I want someone always greeted, or maybe this is how I want, once we're closing or we're dealing with a client, it has the steps like meet with client, make sure we get this info, do this, set up blank account, follow up a month later, see how this is happening, like whatever it might be. But having it where it's there's a binder, an online binder, whatever it is, and they know like exactly what needs to happen. And it's amazing when you as the business owner take the time to do that, how well they execute. I mean, I have great people that have come in before and in seasons of transition, or there were just changes in how we started operating things, and it made it a lot more difficult and frustrating for them because like I just don't know exactly they don't want to screw it up, right? Like your best people, they want to do good by you, they want to do a great job, but they also like they don't want to mess it up, and so the more time you take to give them exactly boom boom boom, here's what I need, then they can go, oh cool, and so clarity for them allows them to step up and even surpass your expectations, where if you don't take the time to do that, they're kind of playing a guessing game or doing their best. And then you might be getting frustrated because it's not exactly what you wanted. They're frustrated because they didn't know exactly what you wanted. And you have disgruntled employees or clients, and you don't want that. And so I would just say, Biggs, it would be that the time, take the time to actually sit down and identify, and it's planning.
Right.
And it takes that is what a true business owner and CEO spends most of their time, is putting those procedures together, putting systems, adjusting things, updating things, so that everything can run smoothly when they're not there.
Well, I'm so glad you're saying all this, because I'm gonna send this episode to all my clients. Be like, I told you so. Like, you got to start working on the business, not in the business, okay? Because it's like they're so focused on like getting through the week or getting through the month or like just getting by, and they're constantly putting out fires. They're constantly being interrupted. They're constantly making excuses on why they need to be there, doing it all by themselves. And it's
Mhm.
like, no, what you need is the exact opposite. You need to get out of there and do some
Yeah.
planning for 1 or 2 days a week and like really sit back.
And even if they took 2 days a month, like they just
Sure.
took like a personal retreat 2 days of the month, to work on the next thing that they want to create systems on, right? Like I understand being a newer manager and feeling like you need to be like, because when you have a newer business, that's a whole other topic. It's like having a baby. And so when you have a new business, you do want to do more for it. You have to do more for it. You put your money into it. Like you want to make sure the foundations are being set up the right way. And so I get for newer budding entrepreneurs or newer businesses, the need, sometimes the desire, mostly to be in there. And so start small. Say, hey, 2 days out of the month, every month, I'm going to pick a different thing to work on, and I'm going to disappear for those 2 days. Maybe even book yourself a hotel or an Airbnb for 1 night or 2 nights and turn off your phone, turn everything off. I mean, you need it on, but like no one else bothers you, airplane mode, and just sit and work on that. And maybe it's just you. And maybe you bring in 1 or 2 trusted advisors to brainstorm with, because a lot can come out, working with others as well. But if you just took 2 days once a month and created systems around something, oh my gosh, like maybe it takes you 6 months. It takes 8, but you get all that done. Whew, the next 3, 5, 10 plus years, like they feel real good.
You're speaking our language, Kat. This is exactly. I mean, we're so passionate about this that we're doing a 5-day mini course in December on exactly these topics. So this is
Nice.
so important for people to experience. And